because everybody is a guest at my table. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for checking it out. My name is Kelsey. At the start of every video, I like to read an inspirational quote from Yogi Tea. It's not sponsored. I just feel like everyone needs a little inspiration in their lives. Trust in the union and intelligence of integrity. And honestly, I can't agree more, because without those two things, we'd be nowhere as a society. In case you're wondering, I'm drinking mango ginger today. Today we are going to be making cowboy cookies. Let's go over the ingredients together. I have 2 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats, 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs. The eggs are on a roll. Half a cup of coarsely chopped pecans, half a cup of coarsely chopped walnuts. Normally in cowboy cookies it just calls for pecans, but I like the extra protein and I like walnuts also. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 3/4 cups of milk chocolate chips, 3/4 cups of butterscotch chips, 1½ cups of shredded coconut. I used unsweetened because normally in cowboy cookies they don't call for butterscotch chips. I just like it. It's a different element. These are pretty sweet on their own. If you don't like unsweetened coconut, use sweetened. That's totally up to you. 2 sticks of butter softened at room temperature. I got a cup of dark brown sugar firmly packed. Half a cup of granulated white sugar. 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. I really like cinnamon. It packs a punch. If you want to use less cinnamon, go for it. 1 teaspoon of salt. And 1 teaspoon of baking soda. First and foremost, make sure your oven is preheating to 350 degrees. We're going to combine all the dry ingredients into a bowl. So the flour, the cinnamon, the salt, and the baking soda. We'll give that a little whisk. And we'll set it aside. In the mixer here, we're going to cream the butter with the sugars. That is hilarious. It's standing straight up. I don't know if you can see that. One and 2. And the brown sugar. Plop. And the white sugar. Mix this on a low speed. Oftentimes the butter will clump up there, so get a little spoonula, as Rachel Ray calls them. But I got this really cute one from Drew Barrymore's Cook line. Beautiful at Walmart. Make something beautiful, Heart Drew. That's so cute, and so her. I love mixing the butters with the sugar. It just smells so good. scrape down the sides. So it'll start to look like the dough is forming. Scrape down the sides again. And then next we'll do the eggs and vanilla. Crickety crack, don't come back. I don't know. Do you know? And the vanilla. Perfect. That looks great. Should look a little runnier than the dough we just previously had. That's totally fine. We're gonna add the dry ingredients next. That was a cool sound. Alright, we'll do a little bit here at a time. Whoa. That wasn't supposed to happen. Alright, we'll scrape down the edges again and give it one last mix. That looks good and whipped. We won't be using the mixer anymore at this point. We'll mix the rest of the ingredients by hand. I'll add in the rest of that later. Let's start with the oats. You might hear some sniffles or some grunts in the background. My pugs are playing. They're little silly things. Next we'll add in the coconut. Put the lime in the coconut. Just kidding. There's no lime here. You probably hear my neighbor's motorcycle. Or maybe it's thunder. That always reminds me of the Cat in the Hat, the live action movie. Chocolate thunder. I don't know why. That movie was so weird. But I like it. Most people don't. Next, the pecans. This dough is a bit harder to mix by hand. But you don't want anything crushed by the mixer. Perfect. In the walnuts, or I guess walnuts go into the walnuts, because that makes sense. But I'm here for it, whatever it is. Next, the chocolate chips. And last, the butterscotch chips. I'm gonna scrape the rest of this in here. I'm gonna give it a complete mix and I will be back with the baking sheet. Here's how the dough will look fully combined. I'm gonna use a cookie scoop because this dough is really sticky and I don't want to use my hands. I have my baking sheet here and I lined it with some coconut oil cooking spray. Feel free to use parchment paper or the silicone liners if you have them. Oops. These cookies are hard to get uniform, but we're trying. As Drew Barrymore says, she's a rebel homemaker, and I think that's great because, you know, she just learned how to cook more recently, and you can tell she's having fun cooking in the kitchen, and that's how it should be. Cooking and baking shouldn't be stressful at all. Like how I said, I don't want to use my hands, but here I am. I'm just making them a little more round. There we are. And these will bake for about 12 to 14 minutes or until the edges are golden brown. The centers are still going to be a little squishy, and that's completely fine because they'll firm up once they rest. While the first batch has been baking, I went ahead and got the second batch ready here. And then I formed the rest of the dough into balls. That way it's an easy, quick transfer as I'm taking the one batch out and putting the next batch in. As you can see here, which I didn't mention before, this does make about 5 dozen cookies. I know that seems like a lot, but my friends are always over, so I like to make sure they have little snacks, and I go visit my friend at the coffee stand across the street from my house. I like to bring her food, and also my boyfriend has a bigger family, so you can cut this recipe down in half, you know, to fit your needs. I will bake all of these, and then we will come back at the end for our final thoughts. Here's what they look like. And these cookies are a bit on the smaller side just because there's a lot of flavor. You don't need to make them bigger. You definitely can if you would like to. But let's give it a taste. It's got the perfect amount of crunch on the outside, soft and gooey on the inside. It's really good. The butterscotch adds a really different dynamic that, you know, other Cowboy cookies just don't. You got the bold taste of the coconut. Yeah, those two complement super well. If you thought this recipe was delicious, please give it a like. And thank you so much for joining me at my table. Please join me again, be my guest, and subscribe. Bye! Sorry, I'm a thirsty girl. All right. No! Oh, I spilled the salt.